Hey everyone, my name is Titanic, and welcome to another video. Today we are talking about Terraria 1.4 and a bunch of channel updates. Now, before anyone clicks off, this is not entirely clickbait. I'm going to go over the ways I purposefully and accidentally predicted Terraria 1.4 being a thing, and a bunch of things surrounding it, because over the course of its development, I have made a whole bunch of comments, and some of them actually came true, some of them didn't. And I also made a few accidental predictions that came true about the update. And I'm going to be going over that as one last upload before 1.4 comes out tomorrow. So, to get started off, I want to go back and look at when the update started its development. Obviously, 1.4 was originally 1.3.6. It's actually something I started speculating in... So, June of 2019 is when we got confirmed that Journey's End was the thing as 1.4 instead of 1.3.6. It was sometime in mid to late 2018... when I started speculating, or not really at that point speculating, but saying, hey, this update's going to be so big, why don't they just package it as 1.4? Why don't they just throw a few bosses and put a bit more content and call it a major update? And when they announced 1.4 last year, I was not surprised at all, because at that point, they had the update actively in development for 2 years, and it didn't make sense for a single it didn't seem like a 1.3.x update would need to be in development on its own for 2 entire years. It seemed like a major update. And so, obviously, when that was announced, that was a huge part of my prediction that came true. Now, this is actually where it ties into my accidental prediction. Alright, so one major point where I accidentally predicted 1.4 is back in June of 2016, actually exactly a year after 1.3 came out, on June 30th, I uploaded the last episode, episode 50, of my Terraria 1.3 and 1.3.1 normal Let's Play. I titled that The Journey Ends. And it was hilarious when Journey's End was announced, how quickly that video, that it had for long disappointed me with how few views it had, all of a sudden spiked up and in like the course of 48 hours got 80 views, which on my channel is not a common thing to happen. And so I found that really funny that technically I got a bunch of views on that video because it had a title coincidentally close. And so I accidentally predicted the name of the update, which is probably the most odd and weird coincidence for me, is the fact that I predicted that. Now, the other really big prediction I have had is the release date. Now, my release date prediction for its most recent release date, I predicted very, very close to. For a long time, I speculated that it was going to come out on June 30th of 2020. I figured from the day they announced it in 2019 that there was no way they'd have that update done in 2019. I just had this hunch that there was no way. And I kind of kept thinking the 5th anniversary of 1.3 made it seem like a really logical date to release it. And when they first announced in April that they were getting close to a release date, I figured, oh my god, this is right on. In fact, back on April 8th, Senec said 1.4 will most likely release before the end of summer. And at that point, I'm like, my prediction is going to be right on. And that same week then, Senec also had mentioned that Red would be the one to drop a release date. And so, with that in mind, as soon as I heard that Red started teasing a spoiler after somebody asked him about 1.4, and he said we would have news about that on Monday, he said this on April 11th, I immediately knew it had to be a release date. And my guess immediately shifted, because Senec said somewhere else said that they wouldn't know the release date until we got close to the actual update. I'm like, okay, it's either going to be the June 30th prediction, or it's going to be sooner. And also my mind went to Terraria's birthday. I knew it's in mid-May. I actually, when I was in a call with someone, I said I think May 19th or something. I forgot the actual birthday, and I said the wrong date, but I still had it. The general idea was there. I guessed it was on the release. I guessed the release date being on its birthday, and I was right about that. Obviously, the timing of this is mixed. I'm very happy we're getting it so soon, but at the same time, it's in a busy time for me, so this is conflicting. But I guess those are the biggest things. I mean, I have also heard that we're getting that one of the new bosses is like a pixie queen or something, which is something I've long thought the Hollow was going to get a pixie boss. I don't know why. I've had this hunch for like 3 or 4 years that, or at least my idea was if I was ever going to mod the game, that was going to be the first thing I would want to add, is like a pixie boss in the Hollow. And so when I heard that, I'm like, oh, that's perfect. So I think we're getting that. In terms of other minor predictions, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I mean, a bunch of the rebalancing stuff I was reading through I kind of predicted, but overall, those are the big ones. Alright, and now shifting gears over to talk about 1.4 on my channel, because obviously that's going to be a really big deal for me I've kind of been on a bit of a Let's Play hiatus from Terraria for the last about 2 years, and I think the last Terraria video that wasn't a live stream or that old finale that I uploaded yesterday was back in 2018. The reason for that mainly has just been I've been kind of bored. Up to this point, it's just been live streams, but starting tomorrow, I am bringing back Terraria Let's Play content in replace of live streams. Live streams will resume at some point in the future. Probably, I'm thinking July or August will begin a new Terraria Tuesday series will begin, but until then, it's going to be all Let's Plays. The big one that'll come out hopefully right away tomorrow, as soon as I can get my hands on the update, record, edit, and upload, although I'm in a busy schedule, is going to be an expert single player series. I'm skipping right over normal mode this time. I don't see a need to waste my time in normal mode. Expert has a lot of content that's exclusive to it. It's a lot more interesting, it's a lot more challenging. And so overall, I think it's going to be a lot better. I thought about, once Journey Mode was announced, doing a Journey Mode series where I just crank it on Expert right away. To avoid the temptation to cheat and to avoid accusations of cheating, I'm doing it on actual Expert. That's my reasoning. At some point, I'm going to work with Journey Mode. I'm thinking a lot of the later series I'm going to do on Journey Mode. But for the initial series, it's super important to me. Definitely going to be on Expert. And then, paired with that, most likely you're going to see the first episode going on Sunday will be a Master Mode multiplayer series with myself and 2 close friends that have been in a lot of my Terraria videos. I've been on the edge if I'm going to spoil who it is, but you'll wait and see. If you've watched my Terraria content before, you can probably guess who they are. But we're going to have 2 friends join us to play Master Mode and multiplayer, see how that goes. Again, that'll be actual Master Mode, not Journey Mode. And so we're not going to have an easy way out of that unless we make another world and just expert normal if we really get hung up on a boss. But the idea is I do not want the temptation to cheat there, nor do I want the temptation, or nor do I want to be accused of cheating. And so that is the big thing with that. So keep your eyes peeled. There's a lot of content that's really very... I can't speak today. There's a lot of content that's really close now, and I'm really excited. Well, with that actually I'm going to leave us off here in an actual game. I just want to, before I sign off, just say thank you to everyone that supported me over the last 5 years in 1.3. It's been a lot of fun. I don't even know, I should have counted how many series and videos I've put out on 1.3. I mean, compared to some YouTubers, it's nothing. But in all, by all other measures, it's been incredible how much I've done on this update. I'm really proud of how far I've come in the game. When 1.3 came out, honestly, I wasn't very good at the game at that point yet, and I have improved a lot since then, so I'm very excited for 1.4 to try all the new challenges. Obviously, it's worth noting, the 2 series I mentioned are just the first 2 series. There is going to be a lot. I have so many series planned. A lot more. I won't lie, a lot more single player than multiplayer, but I'll probably balance out single player Let's Plays with multiplayer live streams. That's probably how it's going to end up being later down the line, although I might turn to more and more streaming as we go farther in, as streaming does seem to on my channel do better than traditional episodes, and so we want to account for that. Also, actually, while we're here, one thing that's very sad is the fact that this farm is about to break. Like, they patched this in 1.4, which is very, very sad to me. Which also, it's worth noting, this is the world here that that was part of the series for The Journey Ends, so it's quite fitting that as one journey comes to an end, we move to a journey that truly begins the end. And so I hope you guys enjoyed. I really hope you enjoyed all my 1.3 content. I hope you're gonna I hope whoever you are watching this today decides to stick with me as we go into 1.4 and see what we can do. I'm really excited. I can't wait for it. I'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Bye bye.